Kash Patel. Trump taps Kash Patel for FBI director, an ally who would aid in his effort to upend law enforcement. And by the way, God knows how many clips there is reacting to this. Trump's aide Kash Patel demands massive declassification, calls for release of Epstein and Diddy list as truth must come out. A lot of people are a lot of people are concerned about this. So Trump's aide Kash Patel called for declassification, including the Epstein list, Diddy list. The truth must come out no matter how uncomfortable. Patel, a former national security official, argued that these records, Rob, if you want to play this clip, go ahead and play this clip. Government gangsters. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
Anyway, the other thing that I put in the book that I recommended the boss to do hits on this. We need a 24/7 declassification office.
Yes.
Rolling papers out 24/7.
Yes.
And not just like
ticker
JFK
tape.
and not just 9/11. You're talking to the guy that's read the whole 9/11 report and those 7 pages that people talk about. But I believe, as like the guy who is an intel guy who believes wholeheartedly in the classified system of information, I believe that it has been over-abused by these corrupt officials in government to hide the truth and enact more corrupt activities. So what I told the boss was like, I don't care what you call it, truth and reconciliation, whatever, come up with a better name. But every agency and department literally submits all of their documentation. And I believe you could get half out, half. I still think the other half needs to remain classified. I'll always argue that it does serve a purpose. But like you're seeing in these documents in the Jack Smith case, they're just redacting stuff that they lied about, that they broke the law.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's used to protect themselves.
And it's a public document in a federal court, which is a document for the people of the United States. And we can have you run that office. You can come in and just be like, hey, I want all the Saudi documents.
I'll gladly do that. I'd be so happy.
So Luke will be the press secretary for the Libertarian Party.
The declassifying documenter.
The viceroy of declassification.
Absolutely. I like that.
There you go.
I'm in. You got
What do you think about Kash Patel?
Right now, there is an all-time low confidence in government, exceeded only by the even lower low of people's trust in media. And I believe that the FCC chairman is very, very important. And I believe Kash Patel is very important. Because if we're going to restore pride in America, it has to come with this thing called trust. And we have to elevate some trust over this gooey, corrupt, disgusting, smelly thing we call government. And I'm with him. I think you need to declassify a lot of these things to restore some public confidence, find out what happened in a couple of these things. He's right. Jack Smith was redacting things that were basically the things they lied about. So it's a cover-up. It's using the redaction and using classified to create the cover-up. I think a few of those, just like food poisoning, you just got to throw up the food, start eating the saltines, sipping the Gatorade, and get your body back to normal. And I think that's what he has to do. And I believe Kash is the guy to do it. And I think he's not a political analyst. He is not a pundit. The guy is a national security official that knows what the hell he's doing and isn't going to declassify nuclear launch codes or secret CIA operations that are going on right now where people could get hurt or things. He's going to restore trust, and I think he's absolutely correct. And he says he needs an office of declassification. Okay, that shouldn't be declassified. That shouldn't be declassified. No, not that, not that, not that. Yes, this, because it does serve a purpose. I think this is great news. And I think that it's not going to take a day. It's going to take time. But I really want to see 2 years into this and to see what he's been able to classify. And it's going to be big headlines. Some of it's going to be breaking glass. But I think the American people sit back and say, well, you know what? Now it's out there. But the other thing that happens, he doesn't let new things get classified. And he's got to be able to put a stop to some of that, like Jack Smith, classifying things just so they could hide lies.
Vinny.
I absolutely love this dude. I've been following this guy from when he was on Sean Ryan and when he was in Trump's administration. He said if he became the FBI director, he said, I would shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopen it the next day as a museum of the deep state. All right. And he said, then I take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America
To be cops.
chase down freaking criminals. Because you guys are cops. Go do your damn job. Stop being political activists for the freaking, the leg of the freaking Democratic Party. He said, every agency and department that I've worked for, when it comes to the fiscal end of the year, they're like, they go on trips, they go spend money. And he's like, you have to get back to Congress. And he goes, we can't do that. So he was on Tim Dillon, PBD, and he was talking about
Tim Pool?
Tim Pool, I'm sorry. Okay. Tim Pool, I apologize. And this was the January 6th situation. The entire January 6th, which has been bothering me when they tried to push this insurrection and impeach Trump and all that stuff. This is what he's saying about Ray Epps about that day. And if it's okay, I want to show this and then a quick clip of Ted Cruz talking to Jill Sanborn with the FBI, and she wouldn't admit out loud in front of Congress that there was no FBI people there injuring people and starting a freaking a riot. This is him on the Ray Epps situation. Go ahead, Rob.
I'll get you beyond a reasonable doubt. Two pieces of information. Ray Epps was on FBI's most wanted list one day, and the next day he was off of the FBI's most wanted list. There are only two ways that happens. You die, or your informant. Put that aside. Under congressional testimony, Jill Sanborn, who I used to work with, the head of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, in charge of all these investigations, testified under oath when Senator Cruz asked her, flat out, were there federal agents involved with January 6th? And she said, quote, Senator, I can't answer that at this time. Not if the answer was definitively no, having been a DOJ FBI guy myself, she would have gone there and said, nope, absolutely not. The reason she said I can't answer that is because of the same stonewalling they gave us during Watergate with Christopher Steele Halper and everybody else. It's the same narrative, and I'm telling you,
and then that's the guy that you wanted to have in Christopher Wray's job. Good riddance. And this is it, Pat. He's asking Jill Sanborn basic questions, and if it's definitively no, just say absolutely not. They weren't doing all these things. She can't answer because it's true. Go ahead, Rob.
How many FBI agents or confidential informants actively participated in the events of January 6th?
Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Why?
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
What?
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Sir, I can't answer that.
PBD, she can't answer that because she knows that they were there. That's why Christopher Wray was there when he was in front of them, and he goes, I can't answer that. And that's all they've been doing. I think he's a breath of fresh air that's going to come in and clean house. He's my favorite draft pick of this administration, hands down.
Well, my favorite draft pick is by far and away Vivek and Elon and Doge. But I applaud this pick. There's a couple of things that I've been seeing a lot of his highlights, sort of his greatest hits that basically were from a few years ago. Number one, this guy is a true believer. He didn't just come out of nowhere and this is what he wants to do. He's been saying this for years and years and years and years. So I got to give someone respect for basically putting where their money, where their mouth is, because if they would have lost, who knows what would have end up happening with Kash Patel. So respect on that. Number two, something that I think we're all recognizing is that we didn't fully understand this in 2016 and certainly not in 2020, but for sure in 2024 is that what people enjoy about Trump and basically the people that he's putting into power are that they are the wrecking balls to the system. In 2016 and 2020, everyone's like, you can't, he's not presidential. He can't come in. This is crazy. He's never going to win. All the naysayers. Now people are basically recognizing that in 2024, everyone he's putting into the power and everybody that he's basically putting as part of his administration is because they want to basically do away with the deep state, drain the swamp, get rid of the nameless, faceless bureaucrats who are running the country that we have $37 trillion of debt. Let's see what Doge does with this. So he's coming into power right now, potentially. This is other than Matt Gaetz. You saw everything that happened with Matt Gaetz. No way, they're not going to pick him, not going to pick him. Boom, he drops out of the race. Other than him, it's Kash Patel, number two, as far as what you're getting the backlash. And then number three, Pete Hegseth. We'll see what happens here with Kash.
What backlash is he getting? He's not.
There's getting a lot of people basically saying, hey, listen, do you know how long the typical term of an FBI director is supposed to be? 10 years.
Yeah, they want him to stay. They want Ray to stay.
They want Christopher Wray. By the way, who, in all fairness, Who put Christopher Wray in charge?
Yeah, like he would know
it was
that he
Trump
turned into
in
this
2017.
scumbag.
I'm just saying these
Yeah.
are the facts. Trump wants a new FBI
Yeah,
director.
but
What's to know about
what criticism is Kash getting himself?
that he's this is what they're saying, not me,
What?
that he's ill-equipped, that he's basically looking to dismantle the FBI, everything he said. So hear me out for a second. There was a Nobel Prize won, I believe in economics, for a book written this year. It was called Why Nations Fail. So I don't know if you can find this. And it's the origins of power, prosperity, and poverty. And basically, this is it right here. The basic premise, okay, so it was, they won the Nobel Prize, but it was written a little while back. The basic premise is what separates powerful countries and rich countries and countries that have peace and prosperity are institutions. So what are the institutions in America? Our government, our electoral college, our systems, our FBI, Department of Justice, CIA. So when you have someone like Kash come in and say, we need to take a wrecking ball to the entirety of the FBI, which he'll basically be heading, right? People have a lot of problems with that. So I don't have a problem with this because I believe that we do need some accountability for all the nonsense that has basically been exposed over the last 4 years, if not longer. But this is going to be a controversial pick. Let's see if he gets through Congress. Do you think he's going to make it through?
I was saying yes. Humberto was like, no, there's absolutely no way he's next on the list. I mean, they're going to try to find something, but I mean, the guy's he was the director of what? And what was his previous job under Trump? Director of intelligence,
assistant director, or something like that. He did. He was
Pat, he has the background. He's been around. He's a G.
But listen, for everybody that says they're not qualified, everybody is not qualified for the job until they get the job.
Of course,
there isn't anybody that's.
And you're kind of.
What's that again, Rob?
Sorry.
I didn't know you could hear that. Everybody is not qualified for the job until they get qualified for the job. And for me, this is a very, very, very powerful job. Very. Okay. I hope Kash does what he said he's going to do.
Yep.
Because if he does, Kash is going to be someone that could increase the level of trust Americans have in the government. That's his role. Go back to the trust the American people have in the U.S. government, Rob. Can you pull that up? The trust Americans have in the U.S. government.
Was it less than 6? Was it 65?
23, 24. No. It's in the 20s. It's not a
Congress.
Yeah.
Was,
way underwater.
Congress has been 19 to 20.
I thought it was all the way at the top, Rob. You just had it. What's that one right there?
Trust
right
in
there.
government.
It's less than 20%. It's 23% if I'm not mistaken. Zoom in a little bit, Rob, because I can't see it. 23%. Okay.
So 19 to
what is it,
23,
Russ? 22%. Okay. So 22%. I would say if Kash stays until 28, and that 22 goes to 40 plus, he's the MVP.
Wow.
Yeah. He has the opportunity to play a very, very important role. His job is a very important job. Very important job. And I like the fact that he has the balance to say, I don't think we have to tell everybody everything, and I think we have to keep some of this stuff. This is why I don't know if they're going to tell us everything about John F. Kennedy's assassination. I don't know if they will. I think RFK wants to go in there and see the files. Yeah. He wants to see the files.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if they're even going to show it to him, because to him it's so personal that
he'll lose his
he'll
mind.
write something about it before he dies. But because how do you get somebody to post and write something to say no matter what he's willing to commit? But if he's able to balance that out, he's got a lot of power in a sense. Tom,
if you'll stay on this just for 1 second, Pat. Look where we were in 1960 after Eisenhower. We were at 77%.
Yep.
And 20 years, exactly 20 years, it went all the way down to 25%, 75%, 25%. We lost 50 points. And we lost them on three things. Why did bad things come in three? The Kennedy assassination, the Vietnam War, and
Watergate.
And then Watergate. And it all devolved our trust in government. We didn't trust Johnson. We didn't trust, by the way, people forget is how much American people, once he was president, did not trust Lyndon Johnson at all. And it was over Vietnam. And then Nixon and Watergate. And they're like, wow, all the more reason not to trust it. And there was conspiracy theorists and everything going on all back then. Did we kill Kennedy? Even back then, initial books were written. And that's where it's at. And by the way, it really hasn't it hasn't ever recovered. There was a little, run up with W and Clinton, believe it or not,
9/11
culminating in 9/11, a bit of a spike. But we need to get it back, and there needs to be.
That's what I'm saying. He's got a very important job.
You're correct. I'm backing it up, pointing out that how quickly 3 presidents and 3 events took 50% of the confidence and the pride that people had in their government.
You know what it is? I read a book on leadership by who's the coach that won 2 Super Bowls for the Giants. What's the guy's name?
Bill Parcells.
Coughlin.
No. Coughlin. Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin wrote a book on leadership. Tom. It's the one right there. Right there. The first one right there that you
Giants
got.
and
right there. That one. What does it say? What is the title?
Earn the right
to win. And he says in his lifetime of coaching, he tried so many different ways to move people. The fear of loss, the FOMO, the chewing their asses out, public whatever, and all this other stuff. He says nothing ever drove us more than the pride to come through individually and collectively. To say the pride of you can count on me. Vinny, can I count on you? You can count on me. PBD, can I count on you? You can count on me. Can I count on Valuetainment? You can count on us. You can count on the team. Can I count on this department? You can count on us. Nothing comes close to the pride more than the MVPs, more than the accolades, more than the contracts, more than any of that stuff. All that stuff is important. But the pride, we did this thing together. You can rely on us, coach. You can rely on us, America. You can rely on us, voters. You voted accordingly. You voted the right way with those 7 states. We're going to come through for you, voters. There's nothing like it. In November, let me tell you what happened with November with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, everything that we did. Absolutely amazing what took place. We have more people ordering stuff in a month of November than we did all of last year. Record-breaking month. I love the fact that people are we want 1 million people wearing Future Looks Bright gear. And this is probably your last chance here this week to order stuff that it gets to you before Christmas so you can sport some of this gear. We have the Merry Christmas hats that you can go order. Anybody that orders, the first 100 that order, we still have some ornaments left. The Merry Christmas ornaments and Future Looks Bright ornaments left for some of you that haven't. And we have this new gear that came out, which I wish you could feel this material.
Ridiculous.
Feel the material, by the way, what this feels like. Just feel the material.
Wow.
Even
what is that, velvet?
It's amazing. But on the back, what it says Happy Holidays, crossed, Merry Christmas at the bottom. Incredible material. This is on the website. If you got a newborn baby, the onesies, and we got a few other these sweaters. Merry Christmas ugly sweaters. Rob, if you can put the link below, VT Merch, last chance, first 100 orders, you get the ornaments sent over to you. And stick around. I'm going to give you some intel on some of you guys that want to come and get, the Christmas trees with us.
What happened to the red Merry Christmas hat?
That thing went out.
Sold out.
Rob, did that sell out? Can you go to see if that sold out? I mean, I don't know what happened with that hat. To tell you what, is there still some left of that? Apparently there is. Because that went off. By the way, the first 1,000 orders we sold like within 2 days when it came out. Yeah, this is hot, folks. People are ordering this left and right.
Hot route.
Merry Christmas with Future Looks Bright on the side. 1 million people wearing Future Looks Bright gear. I want to run into you everywhere we go. I want to see that gear being worn. Tag us when you do that. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.